This is about 30 or 40 pound test line, pretty strong stuff. But on the back side of this, the little guide that comes with the kit, I've got a little picture here that shows you how to tie a loop knot. Okay, it's not that bad. I didn't really bring this to hang myself. It's to show you. Nice. It's easy.
You're a Girl Scout, man.
If you make a loop like this, it's really easy. Okay, just kind of wrap it around your finger. Wrap it around your finger. Put it through here. Oops. Okay, and then if a knot like this, it's never going to tighten all the way where it's going to lock onto that little cable tie we put on there. Okay, because you're going to need this. I mean, we're going to use, it's going to be the fishing line, but you're going to need an open loop that can keep hooking back on there. So that's the best way to tie a knot that's not going to slide. So a loop knot. Okay, and I don't know if you can see this very good, but it's right on your sheet there. Okay, and don't be afraid to make a big loop would be okay because you have plenty of string there.
Is this right? Huh? I don't know.
Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Too long?
No,
Yeah.
It's not too long. Good. Okay.
So Jeff,
Beginner's
right?
luck, man.
Pull it up, right?
Yep.
So make sure before I tighten it.
Yep, as long as you've got a good loop and, if you want to test with it, that looks good, you can put it around a pencil, anything that you have, but, if you put it in there and if it tightens up, it did something wrong, okay, it's not gonna close up, that's good. Okay?
Got it.
Mark, you all set?
No.
No?
Okay, so you do this.
It's gotta be like a
Kind
tail or
of
something.
wrap it around and then just loop it through the
He's got paws, so. Yeah, you
Almost like a...
Yeah, me too, yeah.
football.
Okay, so you did that. Now we have to just trim these. I'm going to trim the cable tie as close as we can get it. Use either scissors or a knife or pliers. Your pulling string with that loop tied on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, the other difficult part for you and the students is, Mark, I took your car, sorry. You're going to want to tie this string, okay, onto this part of the mousetrap. But what do you think is going to happen if the string is too long?
It's
not gonna snap.
Right.
Well, it's going to snap, but what do you think is going to happen once it gets to this point where when this arm is all the way down, if the string is too long, it's actually going to hook itself onto that cable tie, and it's going to act like a brake. And I saw that at CPEP Day last year. I saw a lot of cars that were going, and then all of a sudden they just locked right up. Did that happen to your cars, Mark? It did? I mean, no, I mean, not in CPEP Day, but I've seen it before. I didn't know if that happened. So to make sure that can't happen, what I would do is I would tie it so it's just a little bit short of that axle. So when it gets to this position, it's got to be free of that axle, and it can't wrap itself back around there. Okay? So make it so it's a little bit short. Okay? And actually I have markers. Sometimes I mark it for the kids. This is one part I think as a teacher, I think you're really going to want to make sure to get this part right. Okay? Do you see what I mean, Dan? It's got to be short.
Shorter than
A
that.
little bit shorter, not too much, but just short enough so it can't get caught. Better too short than too long when it comes to this part. Okay, and then now this part, you're just going to knot it up so it doesn't come undone. I'd do a little bit of a loop, a little bit of a knot. See, that's good. I mean, it's not real short, but it can't get caught. Okay, so now I would knot it up best you can. Okay, now we only have, after this, 2 more steps. Got to put tires on those CDs, and then put the guide wire on. Then you guys are done for the test. Now yours, just because of the way it's going to pull, I'm going to bend this back up so it can't pull itself off.
Okay. And give it another flip.
And if you want to test it, and again, this is where you really need a teammate. I would open the loop up, put here. Okay. Can you spin the you can spin, if you can spin those wheels just at the
Towards you? Oh, which
away
way?
from me, and yeah, and if you can, I do it right at the axle. I know my finger's in the way, but go ahead, wind it back. Okay, and then I'm going to let the tension, just let her pull it back. Okay.
That's it.
Okay, and then when you let it go ahead. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. All right. Now the only thing is, if we put it down on a track like that, the wheels are going to spin. So you have to try to put a rubber band on there. But the problem is, no matter how wide it is, once you start to, you take something like this and you open it up to this diameter, it gets real, real small. Okay. Here's an example of a group of kids with a lot of patience. They actually hot glued it on there. Okay. It would probably take us till 9 o'clock anyway to get that.
9 o'clock.
So another alternative to the elastic band are balloons. Okay, and there's a bunch of different sizes of balloons. I think these are just medium, like 9-inch, I think. Yeah, 9-inch balloons. Okay, so if you use these, just kind of like stretch it out. Okay, and this is another two-person job. If you put it on its side, kind of hold on its side for me, yeah. And then as soon as I get it on, you want to pinch it to hold it in place there. Because without a balloon, the CDs are just going to spin in place. Okay. So all we did is we took a balloon and cut the center section out.
Okay.
Cut about a 1 or 2 inch, about a 1 inch wide strip, or 1.5 inches, I would say. Cut it right in here to the biggest diameter, and you can stretch it.
Okay.
Guide wire for the track. Okay, it's going to go right down the center here, and we have spacers, so it's the track's going to be flat. We level it, and this is going to hold it so the line is 1.5 centimeters off the ground. Actually, it's 1.5 or 2.
You want to measure that?
Sure. So what I would do is take paper clips. Paper clips are one idea. You can use a guide wire any way that you want. I know Mark has one. So let me just take it apart. Should be. Yeah, it is. It's 1.5 off of. That's where the line's going to sit. The paper clips. If you have the kids open them, if they open them this way, just by the way that this is bent, you know, it's not going to take much at all to get those to break. Of course, this one didn't break on me. But anyhow, what I would do is I would recommend take it and just kind of, the way it was naturally curved, or curved by the machine, I would open it up like that. Okay, open it up again. Okay, and all you have to do, it needs to have at least one guide wire. So that's up to you. You can have 2, or just 1. I kind of think it's going to be more stable with 1, but then again, more stable with 2. I mean, less friction with 1. Okay, but you've got to make sure that this is, if it's up above, you know, this is 1.5 centimeters, right? If it's up above here, then the string is actually going to, there's going to be friction. It's going to rub all the way down when we get to the end. If it's too low, you don't want it to hit, you know, bump on a track. Okay, so.